Sorry, this is kind of long. Before I start, I just want to say that I am happily married. I love my wife very much. She really is everything to me, and I cannot imagine being this happy with anyone else. With that being said, there is a glaring issue that I just do not know how to address, which is obviously about her weight. Over the years, she has put on weight. Not a lot, but definitely a noticeable amount. To be clear, she is aware of this. My wife has never been athletic for her entire life, but was always fairly thin. If I am being honest, I have never liked how much she opposes exercise given that I enjoy it. Also, the small things get really frustrating with how many items I have to carry for her. I know it is pretty normal for guys to carry things for their partners and, in general, carry the heavy items, which I do, but sometimes it is just a little more concerning than I am comfortable with. She can do it, but the sheer amount of effort it takes is really concerning. We plan on having children in the near future, which is probably most concerning to me. Okay, enough complaining. My marriage is not at any risk of destruction, and as I said, we are very happy together. But my question comes down to this. How have some of you managed this situation if you have? How can I go about telling her what I want to see for her, which is healthy eating and exercising routinely, preferably with me, without making her feel bad about herself and without pressuring her? I also understand that I cannot change her and that she has to want this for herself. But simply, what can I do? Or should I do anything? Update. First of all, thanks to everyone who commented with some really great suggestions. The majority of the advice received was just about being honest, which I took as sound advice because it was the thing glaring me in the face. So, as of this update, I decided to talk to her. I was honest with her and told her what I thought and felt, and it went over way better than I expected. She took it well, and we have a plan to start yoga together, which she was already considering. Also, I will be helping with cooking more, so it is a start and we will see where it goes. Hopefully, in the near future, I can update this again with some more good news. Some things to note for future posters. My wife and I live in Korea, so some ideas are simply not possible when it comes to certain foods. Also, recently my wife had a health check, and everything was fine with the exception of being a little overweight. Health standards over here are different. As I said in my original post, she is not obese. She just put on a couple of pounds to the point where it is noticeable. The physical ability concern has been far more prevalent. Also, the possibility of having children perhaps was the most concerning to me, to which she understands and totally agreed with. Depression is something that she dealt with in the past and is something we actively manage together, but not necessarily the cause for weight in this particular case. I think it is simply eating habits and the gamer lifestyle. Also, to those who have said I should look at myself before saying anything to her, in the last year and a half, I started working out regularly and have gained 25 to 27 pounds to a point my wife liked. I was really skinny and insecure. I know my metabolism is fast, which made this situation really tricky because I know this could be easily misunderstood. But anyway, I wanted to change my life in that regard. Of course, with COVID, that gym life has ended, but now I am about to get back into the game. I say this not because I just wanted her to follow me, but to give some context. I know it is really hard, but I also know it is worth it if you are the one who chooses to do it for yourself. Thanks again, everyone. I still look forward to any future suggestions or stories that some of you offer. They are really interesting to me and, I think, helpful for anyone who is maybe in a similar situation. Story 1. Take the lead in the kitchen. Proper healthy food without fad diets will go a long way in giving you both energy to get things done. Look up the appropriate macronutrients, fats, carbohydrates, and proteins for both of you and plan meals using lots of plants and whole foods. Don't try to put the mental load on your spouse until the healthy habits are already established, as she might find it too overwhelming. Story 2. If she was always thin but now is getting fatter and seems to be having energy issues, ask her to do some blood work and check if she is medically sound first. Story 3. Be honest with her. Most people who gain weight make excuses or explain it away. Straight up tell her that you're worried about her health. You can recommend doing exercises with her or helping her with her diet, or whatever she needs and wants from you. Story 4. Obligatory. Not a man. However, I have been the wife in this situation. Over some 10 years, I had gained around 2 pounds a year, Not really enough to notice on a day-to-day basis, but looking at pictures from 10 years prior, you definitely notice the difference. For me, I had been athletic all my life, exercising 4 times a week, biking to work, etc. But once that stopped, about 3 years before my coming around moment, I just looked at myself as a temporarily excused athlete. Like, I was still strong and I could still fit in regular clothes, so I'm still me, right? I was just a bit flabbier. Until my significant other looked at a picture of me in my 20s and just blurted out, "Wow, you were so skinny back then." I just started crying. Not because that was unkind, it was true, even if a bit blunt. But because at that moment I realized how I had neglected myself. That was about a year ago, and I have lost 30 pounds since then, back to a body mass index of 27 instead of 34. If he had not made that remark in the way that he did, I would have continued looking the other way. Sometimes you just need to be direct. The only thing I would warn you about is the attractiveness thing. I know everyone has preferences, and to state you are losing your desire over this might be a bit too much. Just tell her, "I have noticed you have gained weight. I am concerned over this, not just the day-to-day tasks but also with regards to having our child. What are your thoughts on this?" If she really sees nothing wrong, then continue with your attractiveness argument. That way, you might get what you want, her losing weight, without destroying her self-esteem unnecessarily. Story 5. Losing weight is overwhelmingly a diet problem, and if your wife is getting chubbier, it's mostly because she's not eating healthy. Is she drinking soda, eating lots of butter and cream or chocolate? Is she eating a good amount of vegetables? That said, not exercising at all and being generally physically weak is a health risk too, regardless of weight. Story 6. Female here. Perhaps look into the reasons behind the weight gain. It's not always as simple as she is lazy. Depression can lead to lack of activity, poor nutrition, low energy, or any number of things that could show the results you are describing. Look outside of the weight and make sure there are not other issues first. Story 7. 80% of weight loss is the diet. Start cooking for her. Cut sugar and watch some sugar documentaries with her. Say that you would like both of you to get healthier. Story 8. Ask yourself this. Even if you manage to let her know in a way that does not hurt her feelings, yet she still won't make any effort to lose weight, what then? Story 9. Try to be very casual about it and make it sound like an invitation. I would suggest going on a diet or exercise routine together. "Hey babe, I was thinking about starting a small exercise routine. Just walking every other day for like a mile. Maybe eating some more veggies and less fast food. Small things to live longer, you know? You're welcome to join me. Could be kind of fun to talk or listen to music together while we walk." Also about the sex part, you're only going to get more stamina by exercising. Diet can help you lose weight, but exercising is what allows you to actually do activities. Story 10. Honesty is the best policy. I had pretty much the opposite of this scenario, in which I was the one to gain weight while my fiancée stayed at her high school weight. I went from 175 to 220 over 3 years. Now back to 200 at 6 feet 2 inches. She straight up just told me I was getting fat. She also emphasized that she knew that I did not want to be fat, and put a lot of it on me for my own interest. Not that she had a problem with it. I know she did, but did not say it. I would just focus on ensuring the message is about her being happier and healthier. Story 11. Is the weight gain directly causing the weakness and fatigue? I ask because I feel like a person has to be morbidly obese before the weight alone impinges their ability to open a water bottle. Many things could be causing fatigue, weakness, and weight issues: birth control, thyroid, hormones. Then again, there's the possibility she's just gotten in the habit of asking her partner to do things for her. This happens to a lot of women who are perfectly capable of opening a bottle of water when they're alone. Regardless, here's how I would bring it up. Wait for an instance of her being unable to do something basic, like lift groceries or climb stairs. Don't bring it up in the moment. But that night tell her that you're upset because you got scared when you saw her unable to complete the task. Say you're worried about how she'll be able to handle it when there are toddlers underfoot, or when she hits 40, 50, 60. This first conversation should be strictly about her health. Ask whether she's noticed any gradual changes or new symptoms. Schedule a doctor's visit to ask about things like hormone levels. Depending on how the issue plays out from there, later conversations would be the time, if ever, to be honest about how it affects your relationship. Story 12. Old guy here, been married for many, many years. Let me tell you, just live your best life. As long as you both get regular checkups and don't have any serious health conditions, it doesn't matter. She's still the person you fell in love with. Time is short. Spend as much of it enjoying each other's company. Story 13. To be honest, you are in a difficult situation. I have been in the same situation and am happily married for 10 years with 2 kids. I am not perfect by any means. I love to drink beer, and until my doctor told me to stop drinking for 6 months due to a fatty liver, no matter what my wife said, I wouldn't stop drinking. I have 2 kids and want to be there for them until I die, so I wanted to help myself so I could do that. Long story short, she has to want to help herself. Otherwise, she will feel like she is doing it for you, and it will not work out long term. Just my 2 cents. Story 14. I would focus more on food consumption and lead in what is brought into the house, preparing healthy meals and learning together how to eat better. Too many people think exercise is what is needed to lose weight, and it isn't necessarily what the first step needs to be. If you think of every choice as getting healthier and start with whatever you can handle first, if you stick to it, you will become overall healthier. Your wife will feel more like moving once she gets some weight off as well. One tip I have, since it sounds like you are putting weight on, does she feel like she has to cook for you as a couple? This can be really hard for women in general because we don't need as many calories and are less likely to eat so much, except that our husbands can eat so much, and it can be hard to know how much we are overeating. I cook for my family but had to step back, kids are grown now, and tell my husband he is on his own, and I am on my own for food. He wants to eat 3 meals a day and high calorie. He is super active, climbs mountains active, and I am normally active, walking. I simply was eating more calories than I needed. And we eat healthy. Just something to evaluate for yourself and for her. Calorie counters like MyFitnessPal are great educators if you want to understand calorie intake. Not so you can put your wife on a diet, but so you can understand the calorie need difference and see if your lifestyle around food might be a real problem for her. Too many people start with just get her moving. No, get a handle on what everyone in the household is eating and bringing in the front door first without even discussing weight issues. Story 15. If you are a person who has always been thin, you are completely unaware of diet, calories, and exercise. Being interested in those things when you are thin is seen as odd and maybe even disordered. I only did when I was approaching overweight and unhappy with my body and energy levels. I started literally from scratch. I did not exercise at first either, and it took me over 5 years to figure out what exercise I did not see as punishment for eating. I think if you set a good example and encourage her to try different things, that will help, but ultimately she will have to reach a point herself where she says, I am done with feeling this way and I am going to change it. It can even push her backwards if she feels changes she should make are for you and appearance-based. Eat well, try different activities, and experiment with recipes that are healthy. A calorie tracking application can help as well. It convinced an extremely stubborn ex-partner that calories are the key to it all, and he lost 30 pounds after I lost 15 pounds. Story 16. As I was reading through the first half of this, it sounds like a Korean girl, as many Korean women I've met and talked to don't like to work out for a multitude of reasons like not wanting to sweat or it's scary and the like. However, it's not clear whether your fiancé is Korean or not. Just a guess. I don't have any advice, but I also shared a similar experience with my fiancé, who is Korean. I don't know if your wife is working, but it seems that work seems to take out a lot of my fiancé's energy and thus lacks the drive and motivation to work out. I kind of hinted at her to work out, but she kind of organically started working out, doing things like getting personal training, starting karate, etc., but not all at the same time. It's great that you're doing it together and hope you two can strengthen your bond through exercising together. Just be patient, and I know there might be days where she won't want to work out, but you should continue the routine to show her how determined and motivated you are. But I don't know how she takes things, so be careful as she could feel like you're being passive-aggressive or pressuring her. Hope this helps. Story 17. For the love of God, don't have kids until you see a counselor. You make some extremely valid points, maybe more than you realize. Kids are beyond physically exhausting and demand lots of input. Weight gain is natural for men and women, but childbirth amplifies that along with hormones, etc. Be real with yourself and how you would feel if she were 300 pounds, not 200 or whatever. You can also try supporting her diet plan, low carb, ketogenic, whatever. Help her take ownership. Sometimes that's exactly what I need to get a hold on an issue. Your partner's in everything. Just talk to a professional before you have kids. I know these problems. I see them from a million miles away and they are common. Story 18. Personally, I'm less worried about the weight gain. It's the extreme low energy levels that are concerning. It's not normal at her age. It seems like there is some underlying mental or medical issue here, and you need to address it first before anything else. I would probably say something like, I notice your energy levels have been down lately. Is something wrong? You can tell me about it. That way, no egos get hurt. If depression is the problem, telling someone to lose weight will only make it worse, even if you do it non-pervasively. Find out what is making her unhappy. Maybe she senses negativity from you even though you haven't said anything yet. Women can sense if their husbands are less attracted to them than before. When it comes to the issue of weight loss, don't ever talk about it like that. Instead, suggest that both of you adopt a healthier meal plan and lifestyle together. The key is you have to do it with her, and that includes the healthy eating part, not just the exercise. People are more likely to succeed when they have a partner in crime. Story 19. As a woman, if that were the case for me, I think I'd just like to hear it honestly and in a way that's much clearer about health than physical attraction, even though I think that's a valid reason. Constantly make her feel loved and desired as much as possible so she doesn't take it too badly in terms of self-esteem, and make it clear that you want her to be healthy because you want to live a long, happy life with her and be able to do fun things together. Story 20. Hi. So, my husband and I are a bit chubby these days. We had this chat a few weeks ago. We were relaxing and he mentioned that he wanted to get fitter. If you're not already in shape or exercising every day, start with that. He wanted to eat better, and because we do household shopping together, we ate the same things. We avoided heavy-calorie meals or snacks that we used to have. He bought me Just Dance because I enjoy dancing and gaming. He did it knowing this, but he also said he likes seeing me dance because it makes me happy. It does, but that might have been a way to encourage me to do it more and lose some weight. Maybe encourage hobbies that have more movement to them, or take her out for more physical dates like hiking and sports, which are great options. Just don't phrase them or make them about exercising. Make it about a great view with a picnic at the end. Since the healthy food is already in the house and I wanted to encourage him, I didn't buy any unhealthy treats either. Overhaul your fridge and ask her to keep sweet treats away. If she wants to support you, she won't be too bothered about keeping fewer of those in the house, so she may be encouraged to eat better. I don't know if my suggestions or my experience of my husband getting me into more healthy stuff has helped, but suggest things that she already likes or has an interest in. Cook some delicious healthy food, or surprise her with dates walking around botanical gardens, or at the beach or pool, somewhere with fun exercise that isn't just running or working out. If she just doesn't want to join you or can't find the will to do it with you, it's a hard conversation to have. Phrase it as being concerned for her health. Point out that intimacy would be more enjoyable if you were both a bit fitter. Don't pin it all on her. Even if you don't need to get fit, just phrase it so it's both of you, not just her responsibility. If it's becoming a significant issue, you need to be honest. If you can't tell your wife you are losing attraction, and some can't, that's totally normal, then you have to be okay with her not realizing it's an issue and continuing as you both have been. Sorry for the ramble. I hope it might help even a little. Best of luck.